Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Welcome to a complete masterclass on how to truly level up your wealth. Today, we're going to look really closely at the journey of building multiple streams of income. We're starting from the absolute basics, earning that first active paycheck, and we are traveling all the way up to the so-called boss level of ultimate wealth, which is passive income. But as you'll see from the incredible experiences of several self-made millionaires, the reality of that final destination might actually shock you.
So here's the progressive blueprint we're taking today. First, mastering your first income. Second, building the income flywheel. Third, adopting the millionaire mindset. And finally, uncovering the passive income trap. All right, let's get into it.
Phase 1. Mastering your first income. Build the foundation.
Look, before we can go out and build an empire of multiple income streams, we've got to have a rock-solid foundation. You simply can't juggle 5 income streams if you haven't mastered one really reliable, active stream first. The problem is, when we start dreaming of wealth, it's so easy to fall victim to shiny object syndrome. Take financial planner and entrepreneur Jeff Rose. Early on in his career, he became completely obsessed with adding new revenue streams just for the sake of it. I mean, he actually almost started a marathon in wine country, and get this, the guy hates running and doesn't even drink wine. Then later, he got super hyped up listening to some real estate audio CDs, and he nearly bought a duplex that his CPA later pointed out would have literally put him in the hole for 15 years. He was just chasing random side hustles without mastering his core competency first.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how Jeff finally achieved massive success. Instead of chasing totally unrelated businesses, he doubled down on his core competency as a financial planner. From there, he started creating side hustles that naturally complemented that main job. So he started a finance blog to share his knowledge, right? Well, that blog eventually started pulling in hundreds and then thousands of dollars. And because it was totally synergistic, it naturally fed right into his next ventures: a podcast, a YouTube channel, and even a book. The whole shebang worked together, basically multiplying his efforts instead of just dividing his attention.
You know, another absolute game changer for mastering your first income is totally shifting how you view your time. Just look at Graham Stephan's early journey. He started out doing data entry at a precious metals firm for $13 an hour. He was trading his time directly for a capped wage, but he quickly realized he was never going to build real wealth that way. So he took a massive leap into a commission-only environment as a real estate agent. Suddenly, he's getting paid zero for his time and paid entirely for his results. That mental shift was huge. By focusing 100% on outcomes instead of hours worked, he scaled his active income to an astounding $500,000 a year in gross commissions. He mastered that primary income engine first. Phase 2. Building the income flywheel. Scale your time and assets.
Okay, so once you've got that powerful active income engine roaring, we shift our focus from purely active labor to acquiring synergistic, cash-flowing assets. The absolutely crucial point here is understanding how money actually flows, which is a concept brilliantly explained by entrepreneur Tim Stoddart. Take a look at the middle-class cash flow. You earn an income, but it immediately flowed right into liabilities. Think an expensive car or a heavily financed house, and then right out to expenses. The wealthy operate entirely differently. They focus on acquiring assets first, like online businesses, digital products, or rental properties. It's those assets that generate the income. So the goal isn't to work 60 hours a week forever. The goal is to use your active income to buy or build assets that put cash directly into your bank account.
Let's look at how this builds in the real world through the timeline of doctor and entrepreneur Ali Abdaal. He mapped out this flawless progression to scale his time. Step 1 was active income, doing freelance web development and tutoring math at a Kumon center. Good money, for sure, but totally capped by his hours. Then, step 2, he moved to productized services. Instead of tutoring one-on-one, he packaged all that knowledge into a one-day medical exam crash course. All of a sudden, he's got 30 paying students in a room at the exact same time, which drastically scaled his hourly rate. And finally, step 3, digital products. He and his brother coded an online question bank. They built the software once and sold it an infinite number of times. He completely removed his direct time from the earning equation. Boom.
And when you build these scalable assets successfully, this is what a mature income flywheel actually looks like. This data right here represents a single $42,407 month from personal finance creator Nate O'Brien. As you can see, the heavy lifter is definitely YouTube ad revenue at over 30 grand, and that's supported strongly by affiliate marketing and sponsorships. But he doesn't stop there. He diversifies with stock sales, high-yield bank interest, and dividend payouts. It's a beautiful, diversified, cash-flowing machine where multiple streams protect and accelerate his overall wealth. Phase 3. Adopting the millionaire mindset, operational rules for success. Now, building and sustaining this kind of flywheel isn't just about strategy, right? It requires a fundamental shift in how you operate on a daily basis. Multimillionaire businessman Mark Tilbury emphasizes that you absolutely must view everything through an ROI or return on investment lens. If you want to become rich, you can't just spend your money or your time blindly. Whether you're hiring a new employee, going to a trade show that might not pay off for years, or honestly just deciding how to spend your Friday night, you have to calculate exactly what that investment of resources is going to generate for your future.
Tilbury credits a few other operational rules for his massive success too. First up, he fully embraces good debt. While bad debt drains your wallet, he leveraged cheap borrowed money to buy cash-flowing companies, ultimately coming out 6 to 8% ahead on the spread. Second, he obsesses over his goals relentlessly. Before business, he was actually a competitive radio-controlled helicopter pilot. He even won bronze at the World Championships because of his crazy focus on the details. And he applied that exact same obsession to his sales targets. Third, he knows exactly when to quit. He once walked away from a miserable apprenticeship earning $2 an hour because the effort just wasn't worth the reward. And lastly, he treats his body like a Ferrari 355. Actually, scratch that whole hustle till you drop mentality. After burning out from working 15-hour days for 3 months straight, he realized that prioritizing sleep, healthy food, and exercise is literally the ultimate productivity hack.
And finally, phase 4, the passive income trap, the reality of the boss level.
Okay, this brings us to the climax of this explainer. We've talked about the hustle, building the flywheel, getting the mindset right, all to reach that promised land of total financial freedom. But what actually happens when you hit that boss level? Well, this brilliantly illustrates our final point. Take a look at this staggering number, $37.9 million. That is the exact amount of passive dividend payouts that entrepreneur Alex Hormozi took out of his businesses over just a 36-month period. He had achieved the ultimate dream, businesses running entirely without him, kicking off way more cash than he could ever possibly spend. But here comes the total narrative whiplash. Hormozi looked back at achieving this ultimate state of passive income and admitted, "It's not fun, it's boring, it's empty, there's nothing to do. I regret it." I mean, wow. He spent years optimizing a business so it didn't need him, stepping away to give his team room to grow. But once he was completely out of the day-to-day, he realized he was just bored out of his mind. He was living in a building surrounded by billionaires and centimillionaires who had all stopped working. And he noticed that seeing these incredibly capable people just pursuing endless pleasure, it was like looking at a tiger that had its fangs removed. The really profound counter-narrative here is that we are something not meant to do nothing. Gladiators belong in the arena. If you love the game of business, of building, of creating, why would you optimize your entire life to completely remove yourself from it? Getting rid of your hobbies to double down on the game, winning the game, and then stopping entirely just leaves you with absolutely nothing to do. True fulfillment comes from the challenge itself. We need to make active income and active participation cool again. The real goal is to have the freedom to choose your work, not to escape working entirely. So, that brings us to the ultimate question I want to leave you with today. It isn't just about how fast you can build a passive income flywheel. You really need to ask yourself, if you had all the passive income in the world and you absolutely didn't need the money, what work would you still wake up and choose to do? Find the answer to that, and you've found your true path to wealth. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep building.